There is an environmental concern of thermal pollution. One solution is to show convincing data to explain what is happening to an audience of grade 6 students. It is important to educate young people because they are consumers of energy now and will be for the rest of their lives. Thermal pollution is when a body of water is heated up by a human cause. It can be caused by factories, example, paper mills, energy producing facilities, examples, coal plants, nuclear power plants, or hydroelectric power plants, and domestic sewage. We can reduce thermal pollution by using less energy or using energy efficient technology. Here's a video showing an example of thermal pollution. Note that it actually says in the comments that thermal pollution is happening. I'll have the links at the end. Thermal pollution will have a negative impact on the environment. One of them is polar ice melting. This article called NASA, Warm Rivers Play a Role in Arctic Ice Melt by Maria Jose Vinas in March 2014. The link will be on the end. It says that 72 rivers flow into the Arctic from North America, Asia, and Europe. These rivers melt the ice in the Arctic because the river temperature has increased. The Arctic ice has been has been increasing since 1970, since when they first used satellites to measure the melting ice. 6.9% of Arctic ice will disappear every decade. That's quite a bit. These 72 rivers will contribute a ton to this. This article states that there are 3 factors why rivers are causing increase in the Arctic ice melt. The overall volume of the river water has increased, the rivers are getting warmer, and the Arctic sea ice is becoming thin, more vulnerable to ice melt. The article does not say that thermal pollution is a cause of the rivers getting warmer, but it could still be one of the causes based on the temperature change shown in the first link, aka the video. The Arctic ice is melting at an alarming rate that will cause also sea levels to rise. This image shown below, link at the end, demonstrates what will happen when 80% of the ice melts, and it is astonishing. Like, just look at this, and the red is everything that's gone with 100 meters in sea level rise. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. This image is extremely persuading in showing the problem that needs to be solved. Why? In the areas that are red shows that places that will be underwater. Thermal pollution caused by energy production is one of the reasons why the Arctic ice is melting. Therefore, a solution would be to educate people, especially youth, since this could be in their future, about how their energy consumption is related to rising sea levels and the cities that will be underwater in the future. So, for my experiment, I researched rising sea levels and found this graph. The link is extremely long, and then I interpreted the data to make a simple, easy-to-read graph made for a grade 6 audience. It had 2 data points, and the sea level rise in 2010 and the sea level in 2100. I picked these 2 because it would show a larger increase in that the problem is in need of attention. I made the bar graph 3D to emphasize the difference in volume. I also made it blue because blue is water. And if you see this, 2010, nothing. 2100, boom. That increases so much. I created an education package that contained information about thermal pollution in rivers, melting Arctic ice, and rising sea levels, using information from my FLL and the graph above. I also included the names of some cities that would be underwater in 2100, such as Venice, Shanghai, Mumbai, and Miami. I thought that these losses of cities would make them want to do something about this problem. This might make them also care about their use of electricity. I did not know for sure until I did an experiment. So, I did an experiment, first blindly asking grade 5 students, how motivated are you to use electricity for the environment? I created a scale showing how motivated they could be from 0 to 10, 0 being no motivation at all, and 10 being a ton of motivation. Let's do something right now to use less electricity. Then I told them where the energy comes from and how it affects rising seas shown in the graph. Then I told them about the cities that would be underwater and surveyed them again. So, chart 1, motivation scale for using less electricity. Just look a little bit at the numbers in the line, since I'll be talking about that later. And as you see in the table and graphs below, the results change for the better. So Ryan, 3 to 4. Jaskran, 3 to 6. Gurtaz, 5 to 9. Armin, 7 to 9. Anraj, 5 to 7. Their difference for Ryan, 1. Jaskran, 3. Gurtaz, 4. Armin, 2. Anraj, 2. So, graph 2 is survey 1 and survey 2 results. Ryan, okay, so the blue bar represents survey 1 and the yellow bar represents survey 2, and you can see the general increase. And these are the differences between the surveys. Ryan 1, Jaskran 3, Gurtaz 4, and Armin and Anraj 2. Everyone had an increase of motivation to cut back their energy consumption for the environment. The difference range was 1 to 4 with an average positive change of 2.4. But if you look back on the scale, so 2, which would maybe be Ryan, would be, or Jaskran, would be 30 minutes of reduction. Not too much. Then when Jaskran goes to 6, he quadruples his amount. If he even went to 4, he would double his amount. Since it's 30 minutes to 1 hour, that's 2 to 4. 4 to 6 is 1 hour to 2 hours, and 6 to 8 is 2 hours to 4 hours of reduction. So, with an average positive change of 2.4, they're doubling for every 2. This means that everyone is doubling their motivation to use less energy. This indicates that the education solution worked, and worked extremely well. In conclusion, I think my experiment could minimize the negative human impact on the environment if it is used on a larger scale with other age groups. I tested it only on 5 subjects, and I got 100%. And they all said that they would decrease their energy consumption for the environment. What if this was made into a piece of media and tested on 1 million people, and I got the same results? That would have a huge impact. But we need the piece of media first, and it would also be good to keep in mind that to add a little reward hanging there would be a motivator for them to decrease their energy consumption even more. Thank you.